organized crime group was responsible for this. Alright viewers, those are the headlines and our top focus. US President Donald Trump has warned that additional US-backed action may be necessary if Hamas fails to uphold its ceasefire commitments in Gaza. He's also noted that more bodies of hostages held by the group have been returned to Israel. Listen in.
Well, I'm looking at what's happening, and that wasn't the deal that was made, and we'll see what happens. It's calmed down. It's a tough neighborhood. We know that. We have a commitment from them, and I assume they're going to honor that commitment. I hope they do. And I understand they brought back some additional bodies today. It's a rough deal when you think of it, right? Very rough. We have our hostages back completely. We were very lucky with that. But it's a tough situation. They brought back bodies today, as you probably know. But they also said they're going to behave. We're going to find out if they behave. If they behave, good. If they don't behave, we'll take care of it.
Meanwhile, Hamas has mentioned that the return of remaining hostages' bodies could take time, as some are buried in tunnels and others remain under the rubble of buildings that have been bombarded by Israel. Meanwhile, in other developments, Israel has announced that it is preparing to reopen Gaza's Rafah crossing with Egypt, but meanwhile has set no date, while continuing to press Hamas to return the remaining bodies of 19 hostages who lost their lives in captivity. Now, according to authorities in Gaza and Hamas officials, the handover of additional bodies requires admission of heavy excavating equipment into the enclave. Additionally, a senior Hamas official has accused Israel of ceasefire violations, alleging at least 24 deaths have occurred since then. Local health authorities have also reported that 7 people have been killed across Gaza yesterday, including 2 in Khan Yunis following Israeli fire. Moreover, warplanes and drones were reported over the southern strip, with sporadic gunfire heard from time to time. With us on the broadcast is Mr. Yossi Cooper-Wasser, Israeli intelligence and security expert, joining us from Tel Aviv. Thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX World. We've heard what the US president has had to say regarding this. He has stated that if the bodies of the hostages who lost their lives in captivity are not handed over in time, the United States will have to intervene to ensure this. Though he has said troop presence on the ground by the United States would be there, they would not directly take action and they will leave it to local forces. What, in your assessment, is Trump hinting by leaving the local forces element rather ambiguous?
Well, first of all, good morning. Secondly, I believe that he refers to the possibility that if Hamas doesn't deliver and doesn't stand by its commitment according to the deal, Israel is going to be allowed to finish the job militarily. And that was what President Trump said when the plan was introduced back in Washington at the time. And now he repeated that in several occasions. And not that we are looking forward to that. We want to see the deal implemented. We want to see Hamas delivering the bodies of the dead hostages, still 19 missing. We believe, based on intelligence, that they have the knowledge about the whereabouts of quite a few of them, and they can deliver them without any need for special equipment. And if in the end there are going to be several bodies that cannot be found without the use of special equipment, then some process should be worked out that would be affording for them to have the equipment for a limited period of time and used for that purpose only, because we know that they want to use the equipment for other purposes as well. That should not be allowed. And the bigger problem is awaiting us. It's, the hostages are a big problem by itself, but the bigger problem is waiting just behind the corner, because we are still waiting for Hamas to accept the deal, in the sense that it calls for its disarmament and giving up the control of Gaza. What we see on the ground is just the opposite. They are strengthening the control of Gaza, executing, as a matter of fact, their opponents and those who they consider to be opponents. And this is what's happening in Gaza right now.
Indeed, I was just about to bring that up as well. We've seen executions take place by Hamas officials in Gaza. Ordinary Palestinians have been shot in the head and executed. In the meantime, Israel has announced that it is preparing to reopen Gaza's Rafah crossing with Egypt, but has set no date. What is Israel's primary concern with the reopening of this particular crossing?
Well, the opening of the crossing was supposed to happen after the hostages, all the hostages are returned. We still miss 19 hostages, and that's why the debate whether we should open the Rafah crossing or not, because on the one hand, we want to see more humanitarian aid coming into Gaza. On the other hand, we are worried that if we are going to allow more humanitarian aid coming in without anything being done by Hamas, then what is the point of this entire agreement? There's no shortage of equipment or humanitarian material in Gaza. There's no shortage of that right now, but we are following very closely the situation to make sure that we are not fooled by Hamas in order to bring in more stuff that's going to be taken by Hamas and used in order to strengthen its position instead of helping the population. And that was the practice of Hamas throughout the war.
All right, so requesting you to stay on with us as we track further updates. In the meantime,